What is good, everybody, and welcome to Straight Up Tennessee. It's your boy Ruck,
It's Turner.
man, and I'm kind of hyped right now, bro. I know it's just Akron, but it's another game in Neyland Stadium this Saturday, 7 p.m. kickoff.
Not
Um,
game.
yeah, nights in Neyland are always special. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Um, I will say this though, if you still one of those crazy people that actually has cable TV. This will not be on television. It will be on SEC Network Plus, which is a streaming service that SEC Nation and ESPN have. So if you're looking for the game this weekend and you're like, I don't know where it is, SEC Nation Plus, download the ESPN app. You can get ESPN Plus, or you can just sign in with your provider to the ESPN app. That's Apple TV, Fire Stick, whatever you have, Roku, and then you can watch the game that way. So if you had trouble trying to figure out where the game was, when you listen to Straight Up Tennessee, you get more than analytics and data and fun. You get actual facts, bruh. You feel me? So, Turner, what's up, man? What's been going on with you this week so far, bro?
Man, just work. all I do, all I do is work. But hey, I'm still living on the high a little bit. I mean, ain't really, ain't really much to Akron. I'm looking forward to that Florida game, but at the same time, don't want to overlook Akron. But
It's
gotta.
hard.
It is hard. It's hard to think. I mean, they're not a good football team. They're
Nope.
just they're not a really good football team, so it's hard not to look forward towards Florida at 3:30 CBS game. Checkerboard
Uh,
Neyland. I don't know. Smoky
Hey,
Grays. I don't know.
hold on, wait. We gotta wait. We gotta wait. We still got a few more minutes before we can even talk about Floyd. You feel me? But like we said, man, it's Akron week. I cannot wait to be back in Neyland Stadium Saturday night. Really looking forward to just seeing what the offense cleans up. I know coming out of the Pittsburgh game, um, when our offense doesn't play good and we still hang 34 points and we still win a football game, I don't think anyone's complaining. Um, Although there are many things to fix, I think go Alex Golish or someone said in one of their press conferences, it's easier. No, it was Jason Swain on Josh and Swain earlier this week. He said it's easier to fix mistakes after a win than when you're fixing mistakes after an L. So I
Absolutely.
agree with that. And so it's Akron week, man. Normally I'm going in, diving into who is Akron and like really breaking it down. But Turner, man, like who is Akron? Like let's talk through Akron and like what we can expect from Tennessee fans. Like what can we expect out of Akron?
And I mean, just keep it plain and simple. It ain't gonna take long. Not a good football team. Uh let's see here. They went 1-7 in that conference last year, dead last. Um, they got a pretty good quarterback. They say he's a legitimate dual threat option, but he left Saturday's game when they played Michigan State with a lower body injury. So don't know don't know if he's back or not. But if he is out, they have an Albany transfer, Jeff Undercuffler Jr. Uh, he threw for 6,400 yards with 59 touchdowns in his 4 seasons in Albany. So, you know, look for him to throw it over, throw it all over the place. I think that's where their bread and butter is. They're going to try to throw it all over us. Uh, they got a running back, He's transferred from Minnesota, Cam Wiley. He's the lead back in the offense. He's rushed for 114 yards on 31 attempts this season with one touchdown. The receiving game, they got a tight end, Tristan Banks. He's leading the team right now with 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. Um, but that's last year. He led the team last year. Uh, they got another wideout, Shockey Jaquez Lewis. He's leading the way this year through 2 games with 11 receptions for 153 yards and a touchdown. Uh, I mean, Overall, they can throw it a little bit, averaging 239 yards passing with no interceptions in 2 games. That's pretty big, in
But
my opinion.
but I'm pretty sure they haven't thrown any touchdowns, correct?
Correct. Correct. Um, so I mean, they averaged 19 points an outing with 299 yards total offense, but 60 comes on the ground. So I would look for them to throw it all over the place. They spotted the second to worst rushing offense in the MAC, and I mean, I don't know, not very good on the ground. Uh, it also they were dead last in the MAC, surrendering 38 points a game and allowed over 6 yards a carry on the ground. So
Well,
J- Jabari better have a game. Jalen better have a game if he can hold on to the football.
yeah, and I mean, we were talking earlier this week, bro, and you even said this is a game where you don't even want to see the starters out of the game until middle of the third. Like
Yeah,
you want them to get those reps because as we saw, we started slow against Pittsburgh, and we can only credit that to how much in-game live reps they had against Ball State, you know?
yeah, and I'm with you on that. I think, like I've said a million times, I think Ball State was a glorified scrimmage. And I said it in the podcast last week. I think Pitt had more game experience than us coming into that game last week because they played, the backyard brawl against West Virginia, which was a good football team.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're pretty much coming off a scrimmage, and
Yeah.
it took us about a quarter to get worked in and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you still got to get your young guys some work just in case something crazy happens and somebody gets hurt. But I don't know. People call me crazy. I mean, I understand you don't want to get your starters hurt, but I give my starters reps. I mean, you could see Hendon Hooker overthrowing, Jalen Hott across the middle. I don't know. I look his Akron game a chance just to get to know your receivers in a game like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's just say it like this. It's Akron, bro. We're favored
Yeah,
by 50. Um, I'm taking the under. I don't think we win. I mean, I'm not saying we can't, but I don't see us winning by 50. Um,
hmm
I'm taking the under if I'm betting on this game simply because we're gonna score. I mean, we're gonna score 50 points, but that don't mean we're gonna stop them from scoring a point, you know. So
yeah.
um really looking forward to just seeing what we clean up offensively. Defense, man, I just want to see them absolutely stay violent
hmm
because seeing what they did against Pittsburgh only makes me excited to see their progression because obviously we got dudes, we got dudes
Yeah.
on the defensive side of the football. So, man, that's Akron, bro. I mean, there's not a ton for us to talk about. It's Akron. We need to come out, handle business, hit them in the mouth, and blow them out. Period.
Yeah, I mean they do have it says they do have a very productive uh defensive line. They got a guy named Victor Jones who's got 13 tackles, 4 tackles for loss and a sack in 2 games. So, I mean
Don't care. Don't
uh,
care.
says they're going to run a
Uh,
4-2-5, so we'll see.
Great. Let's see what they can do. Because I mean, it's time to eat. Hendo Cinco, man. Let's talk
Mhm.
about Hendon Hooker just for a second, man. I know we talked about it in our the next day podcast about Pittsburgh, but he wins SEC Offensive Player of the Week on a week where we felt like as fans, like
He
he
didn't
didn't
play that
even
good.
he didn't even play that good, and so it's like obviously at the national level what we critique is so stupid. Like
hmm
we as fans critique these kids do to a point of like exhaustion almost.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to find things to be frustrated about, the national media is letting you know that your quarterback is a freaking SEC offensive player of the week and you're talking about he's missing people. He did miss people, but that's part of being a quarterback in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
going to happen. And Byron Young wins defensive lineman of the week.
hmm
Um, that kind of felt like that was out of left field. But then when you look at his stats, Byron was eating.
Mm-hmm.
Byron had a great game. I think he had what, 4 or 5 QB hurries, um, some tackles for loss. So Byron Young had an incredible game against Pittsburgh. And guys, man, here's the thing. Me as Ruck the fan is so happy to. I'm always happy to be a Tennessee Volunteer, but in this right now in this moment, I feel like we are on the cusp of something great.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
think we go out here and handle business Saturday, and then we get ready for the Florida Gators to come to Knoxville, Tennessee on Saturday, September 24th. I feel like if we handle business and we take care of Florida, I think that this season could be something that some of us were talking about, but I don't think we truly were expecting it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And 10 wins starts to sound more realistic to me if you go out, you handle business this week against Akron, and then you go handle business against Florida. So
Right.
I'm really excited to see what happens, man. It's no better time to if you've been those fair weather Tennessee fans and you really are like, man, I kind of want to come back. Come on, I'm inviting you. This is an open invitation. Come back onto this side so that you
Mm-hmm.
ain't got to be a bandwagon here in the next few years when we start eating for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, I mean, this week, man, I kind of want to dive in right now to just Coach Josh Heupel's press conference from Monday. A lot of good nuggets. We won't listen to the whole thing, but I think it's important to just listen to some of the questions that they asked him, some of the things that he answered with, and just how you see in the press conference why these kids have bought into the system, have bought into the coaching staff, everything. So, man, let's just get ready to show this thing. Let's watch a little bit of it. And courtesy of volquest.com, man. Thank you, Volquest, for everything you do for us as Tennessee fans. The best media site out there. So
100%.
we're both subscribers. We both sub to Volquest. We love Volquest, and they help out a ton. So here we go.
Hope everybody's doing great. Again, excited about the way our kids competed this Saturday, and proud of our ability to find a way to win a game that was against a good opponent, and obviously we didn't play our best in some areas, but found a way to come out on the right side of it. So extremely excited about that. Moving on, kids were in the building this morning and had a good morning with them. Excited about getting back in our home stadium, celebrating, I guess, maybe the 50th anniversary of the first night game at Neyland this week too. So I'm excited and looking forward to the week.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either when I heard it earlier.
That's kind of cool,
Mm-hmm.
actually. So I wonder what they're gonna do. They're probably cooking up something crazy. So
I'll open it up.
Questions, Adam, then Ben.
You said you didn't play your best. How do you
Yeah.
communicate that, especially on offense, to the guys that you did win a game, you did do some things in clutch situations that didn't play your best?
Well, and this game's never going to be perfect either. And I said that after the game, said it to the players, and I do all the time. There's things that we can control that we can be better, and offensively the way we started, really in all three phases of the football game, the way we started. The third quarter, just offensively and special teams, being more dialed in, and that's coaches and players together. And I am proud of the way that we finished and competed. The second quarter, has been something that we've placed an emphasis on just in our offseason and training camp. It was good to see us, respond and play the second quarter the way that we're capable of and come out on the right side of the scoreboard during that quarter. So there's a lot of positives, but there's things that, and it's always going to be true throughout the course of the season, that, man, we got to continue to find a way to get better. And the simple things that we control in all three phases of the game, how do we continue to get better to control those in a better way?
I think that's important, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's like he said, like, how do you convey that we didn't even play our best guys and we won a football game? like
Yeah.
against a team that was technically ranked higher and supposedly better than we were.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
fast forward a little bit, kind of get deeper into this thing.
As a staff.
Coach, back here, the running backs haven't caught a lot of passes this year. Is that something that's by design? And if not, how do you get those guys involved in the passing game more?
Yeah, you guys see us, who we are offensively. We have an identity, right? But then as we face different defenses and how we want to attack them, different players get involved in the pass game, and those guys do a good job in protection. They do a good job running the football. We got to be better in ball security. Those guys catching the football out of the backfield is something that they're capable of doing. And as we go out throughout the course of the season, you'll see that show up.
Stay in the back. Hey.
I hope to see that.
Tons of upsets in college. How do you keep this team locked in and not looking beyond Akron this week?
Yeah, the challenge every week is really us, and we talk about that every week. Talked about it this morning too. Our players got to buy into it. I didn't think a couple of the practices last week were our best. It showed up in the way that we played at times during the course of the football game. Our preparation's got to be consistent. Your process of how you approach and get to game day is what takes you to game day to play your best football. And if you ever deviate from that plan and change it, you're setting yourself up for failure. We talked about that in the team meeting today. And college football has always been this way, but certainly this past weekend and the first weekend you see it, right? Like everybody's got 85 and they got good coaching staff, so you better prepare and be ready to compete in a really good way. Your competitiveness cannot deviate from week to week.
Patrick, then Rob.
Coach, a couple things.
That kind of goes back when he said your competitiveness can't deviate from week to week.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like when we play cupcake games. We play Ball State.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's a glorified sprint scrimmage. It's hard to get up for a game like that,
Well, yeah, and it's I'm a firm believer. It's hard not to play to your competition.
Oh yeah.
We're going to play 10 times. We play 10 times better against Pitt than we would play against Akron. We just look good against Akron because it's Akron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. This is about 10 minutes into the press conference, so we'll knock this one out and listen to it a little bit more.
In that Pitt game, maybe just a little bit off on some throws he normally makes. Is there anything you have to really say to a guy like that, or do you just sort of trust him to get it corrected?
No, Coach Halsey talked to him a little bit about it, his feet and his mechanics, just a little bit, really just his feet, getting himself in a better position rhythmically. I think it's great that we came out on top in this football game and we experienced some of those things during the course of the game that can help us as we go through this season. That's individually for Hendon, it's for any of our wideouts, it's for us as an offensive unit, our entire football team. Continuing to compete and find a way to make a play at the end. And there were a bunch of plays that Hendon made once he got into a better rhythm, into the flow of the football game.
Eric and Vince.
Josh, what's Akron look like on tape? What do they present offensively and defensively? And obviously, outside of a win, what are you trying to accomplish goal-wise this week?
Yeah, quarterback, when healthy, guy has the ability to be involved in the run game. Some of that's by design, some of that's just on drop back, him scrambling. We got to do a good job of applying pressure, but containing him. We got to do a better job on the outside, being more consistent and winning one-on-ones. And I'm talking about defensively. Offensively, multiple front.
I think that's big too, man. I think we got to win those one-on-ones.
2 weeks into their scheme.
Corners.
Yeah, we just got to be able to win those one-on-ones.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Because that's gonna carry on for the rest of the year, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you show tape on Akron and you're not winning one-on-ones, like what's Georgia and Kentucky? What are they gonna do?
Oh yeah, they're gonna come right at you.
Exactly.
Both offensively and defensively from them, there's going to be something different that shows up on tape, and as they continue to grow inside of what they're doing, as their personnel gets more comfortable in their system. So we got to be able to adjust to what we see on Saturday too.
Josh, you guys were able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback this past week, this past Saturday. How did that break down to your pleasing in terms of getting pressure from the front versus sending blitzes?
Yeah, I thought with just our front four, there were times that we did a great job. Tyler Barron's strip sack at the end of the half. Obviously, Trey with pressure at the end of the football game. It was a combination of both of those things. And as the game went on, I thought the coverage on the back end forced them to hold it for another count. Early in the football game, we're a step short of being able to hit the quarterback. I thought the combination of what we were doing was really good. I thought Coach Banks and our defensive staff did a great job in game planning, in preparation, had our guys ready to go compete.
Two more questions, Adam, then Al.
Looked like they were taking away a lot of the run game. Hendon was throwing in a lot of RPOs. How flexible do you need to be in play calling? Can you stick with the run too long, or what's your philosophy about if they want you to throw it, you just throw it?
At the end of the day, we want to have balance in what we're doing, right? But also structurally, what they're doing, you got to put your kids in a position to be able to attack them and stay ahead of the chains. And so it's always going to be a combination of that balance that you're talking about.
I hate when people ask that question. Like, I truly hate when people ask that question. And here's why. If a team is good at stopping the run, you're going to throw the ball.
Yeah, vice versa.
If a team is good at defending the pass, you're going to run the ball. Great questions. Like, I don't know, man. Sometimes the media, I just be like, what are they like? Did you think about this before you asked? Or did somebody tell you to ask this?
Let's be honest.
Like, but yeah, that's just a little bit of the sound bites from Josh Heupel's press conference on Monday. It's as expected. I mean, 14 minutes and he talks about Akron for 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So I think it's important for us to know that this week we should go and handle business. I pray that I said I pray. That's the worship pastor in me. I'm praying though. I hope that the boys have just been practicing well this week. They've been locked in, and we come out and handle our business. And I mean, it's start of the fourth quarter, and I'm like, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Game over. You heard me? So, man, let's hop into one of my favorite segments. It's the middle of the week. So how we're gonna start doing this, fam, is look, number one, before I even tell you this, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you never miss a podcast, a video. We're getting ready to expand our reach, guys. We're getting ready to go on the Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify podcasts. Everything Straight Up Tennessee will be on there soon and shortly. Get ready to look up Straight Up Tennessee, on Instagram. We're going to have an Instagram page. We're getting ready to up our game, man. I think we have honestly fallen in love with this and love the community we're building in it. And so we want to invest time and resources into it. And so we're going to make this thing amazing. And so keep following, keep rocking with us during the journey. Share this thing, man. Share the video, share the channel, share everything about it, man. We just want to make sure that if you are just like us, all things from Tennessee to the Memphis Grizzlies, if it's Tennessee, it's straight up Tennessee, baby. So I'm excited about that. But just moving in, just kind of back into this, I love this segment that we do in our Who Is series, I guess you can say. We always call the first episode of the week Who Is and the Team. And so in this Who Is Akron week, I'm already thinking about this, man. So Turner, in your opinion, man, what does Tennessee have to do this week? I know it's Akron, but what do you need to see from Tennessee in order to feel good about heading into Florida week?
Just tighten everything up, man. I mean, we're sloppy last week. Still won. A win's a win. I feel that. But just tighten up some things. I mean, offense just needs to find a rhythm. Once they find that rhythm, it's a game over. I feel like we had a hard time going tempo against Pitt. Yeah. We tried it and it wasn't working. We just couldn't find that groove.
Yeah.
And SEC big time football, Coach Hype said it. You ain't gonna be perfect. I mean, the game of football is not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
But I think you need to be pretty dang close.
I agree with you.
if you wanna have a successful season, which I think we can do, in my opinion.
And I think we got to remind ourselves too. We returned a lot, man, but we got a lot. We got two new starters at receiver. We've got a new starter on the offensive line. Really, you could almost say we've got two new starters because Cooper Mays didn't really play at all last year.
No.
Um, Jabari and Jalen are getting the bulk of the carries as they did last year. And so I think they're still just cleaning things up. And that's another thing for me too, man. I just want to see things get tighter, things get more consistent. I know it's just Akron, but I think that this would be another great tune-up game. I think Florida could easily be in another little fight if Anthony Richardson has a bad outing against USF this week. So we both have tune-up games, but man, Florida, I don't know. I don't know what to think. But um, what player on offense and defense needs to turn up for you this week?
I think Jabari needs to have a good game. Jabari and Jalen Wright. I mean, we got to get that run game going. I mean, like Coach Hop said, we want to be a balanced offense.
Yeah.
And I think for us to be successful, and what I mean by successful is win those big games, stay in those big games like Alabama, Florida, Georgia. I don't care how good we are at throwing the ball. We're going to have to be able to run the football against those teams.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So
I think for me, man, I want to see offensively. Mine is Jabari and Jalen too. It's the running backs. After a decent week against Ball State and then just not a very good week against Pittsburgh, I think it's time to bounce back and the running backs get the workload. Like if Hendon throws for less than 200, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? And then defensively, man, for me, I really, really want to see Juju Mitchell get out there. Supposedly, Jawan Mitchell is going to play this week, and that's who I'm referring to as Juju. Supposedly, he's going to get on the field this week, and I think he needs to play the whole game. He don't need to come off the field. He needs this work more than anybody, simply because he hasn't played since the Pittsburgh game last year. And we're gonna need him, man. I know Aaron Beasley is playing like with a man with his hair caught on fire, but he don't need to play 86 snaps again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if Jawan Mitchell can come in and be half, I mean, if he can be just as efficient and good as Aaron has been playing, man, it's going to be exciting to see this defense in a couple weeks. So, we look at this game, man. The line is 50. Tennessee is 99.2%. 99.2% according to the Football Power Index. Tennessee should win this game. Turner, what's your final score and predictions, man? What you looking like?
It could be, man, it could be one of them games where it's like 63-10, or it could also be just one of them games where, like you said, and I would be completely fine with this. We just ground and pound the whole game. If we ain't got to throw the ball, don't throw the ball. I mean,
yeah,
let our line work on run blocking and let Jabari and Jalen have a heyday. So I could see, I'm gonna give two. I could see 63-10, and I could also see like a 41-6.
Yeah. Fans are gonna be losing their minds if it's 41-6.
I'm honestly hoping for more of the 41-6 if our run game is good. Now, if our run game's not good and we only score 41, I mean, we've either had to take Hendon Hooker and everybody out in the first quarter.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, I think my final score that I'm going for, I'm thinking I'm gonna go 55-3 and we cover. I'm gonna say 55-3. I know earlier I was like, I'm taking the under, but I think we can do 55-3.
Yeah.
if that defense plays half as good as they played against Pittsburgh, they'll crush Akron. So,
Oh yeah.
so y'all, man, the rest of the week, man, it's who is Akron, man. We told you who Akron is. It's not a long show. We knew it wouldn't be because we don't have much to say about Akron, but we can't wait to get back with you. So the way our new format is going to roll out, man, we're going to continue to do the next day after the game on Saturdays. We're going to have our Wednesday show, which is this one that you're watching currently. And it is going to be our who is Pitt, who is Akron, who is Florida. Oh, boy, 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 boy. I can't wait for next week. However, and then we're also going to we're going to have a show on Friday, and Friday is going to be the One More Day show. It's a new kind of twist. Just with our schedules and things, it was just kind of difficult to make some things fit. So we're going to have the who is, the One More Day, and the next day. And so Friday, man, we're just going to hopefully dive into even more press conferences. Josh Heupel has a press conference actually later on today, depending on what time you're watching this. It's on Wednesday. His press conference is on Wednesday night, or actually Wednesday around 11. And we'll have more information to talk about that on Friday. So, man, Turner, you got anything else, bro?
Nah, dog. We got some big things coming though.
Big things.
New updates on the page.
Yeah.
Can't
New
wait.
updates, man. I'm just excited, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, share this, man. Not because we're asking you to, but because if you listening to this, somebody else needs it. You feel me? Like if you're listening to it, somebody else in your circle needs to be listening to Straight Up Tennessee. So go ahead and share it to them, text it to them, copy the link, whatever you got to do, man. Share it out.
And listen, all y'all that are watching that don't have a YouTube channel, just go type in your email, make a password, and subscribe.
Facts. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. It's simple.
You ain't got to put no videos up or anything.
That's it. And here, I'm going to say this before we end the show today. Well, I know that we should not talk about this, and we're not going to talk about this at all. But if Tennessee is 10% better than we were against Pittsburgh, I think we handle the Florida Gators in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait. And we're going to listen. Y'all can already hear the excitement. We're just trying not to talk about it. Yeah. Once we get past Saturday and we do the next day show, that next day show is probably not going to be about Akron at all. We're going to be talking about Florida. From that, shoot, we might have 5 videos next week, bro. Who knows? Who knows? But hey, for my man Turner, it's your boy Ruck, and it's Straight Up Tennessee, baby.